Yeah, I feel like when I was younger, I had a better memory, and now it's like, well,
Same.
I'm over the age of 35, so it's all downhill from here.
Alrighty.
Hi everyone. Happy Tuesday. Almost October. It's unbelievable. All of the OSU students are back, so that's a lot. Campus is fun. Okay, so we have a short agenda, but we have a lot to work on. So we can start. It looks like there's some printed packets over there if anyone needs to reference one. And if anyone online needs to reference it and doesn't have it, it's on the Inclusivity Committee page on the city website. If you did not get it via text or email or like that. So we can start by attendance, and then we'll go through the agenda and get out of here. That's the plan.
I've got a game.
We got a game. Okay. Right, so I will start with attendance. We'll go around clockwise and then we'll check in with folks online. Amanda Polly,
Let's see that.
Jane Sherwood. Diana Crocker.
Jessica Andrade.
Jen Amador?
Chris Workman.
folks online.
Jenna Fisher.
Hi, Jenna.
Hello.
Hey.
Welcome.
All right. That is everyone. And if folks show up late, we'll get them on the list. So the first item on the agenda for today is approval of minutes for the 22nd of July and our last meeting, August 26th. There was a crystal cot that we approved wrong meeting minutes for July 22nd. So the actual minutes are now in the packet for approval, as well as the minutes for our last meeting. Anyone have any updates or changes they want to make to those? Otherwise, we can approve it. Great. Minutes approved. The next agenda item, do we have any urgent business that's not on the agenda that anyone wants to touch on?
Well, it's not urgent, but an update on the Philomath Fellowship.
Yes, we could do that.
It's not on the agenda, but it's not urgent.
Yeah, I mean, we can quickly, the fellowship used to do weekly or monthly meetings. We are holding off for the rest of the year, trying to figure out what the format of that is going to look like for upcoming meetings. So some folks have been still sort of meeting outside of the space to talk about what those meetings look like with other community members. And but if anybody's interested in being involved in those conversations on the future of the fellowship or want to be involved in that, they don't have to be members of Inclusivity Committee. We have a few people on, like, in that sort of steering group that aren't connected to Inclusivity Committee. So if you're interested, reach out to us and we can pass along our next meetup date. Does anyone else want to add anything about that?
I think it's wise to wait and plan, because this time of year is crazy busy and it's not going to get better until
Nope.
January, and then it slows down.
No, so I think we've got some cool ideas for community engagement and involving some of the seniors of the community, letting folks have a place to share their stories as community members, and all of us sort of get to know each other better as a city and a community. So we'll have more information to share about that in the upcoming months. Does anyone have anything else they want to bring up?
It's not urgent, but just updates. I only literally was just checking my email today and saw that there were a couple of Hispanic Heritage Month events coming up at Lynn Benton Community College, the Institutional Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Department or group. They have several events happening in the month of October, on October 1st, 8th, and 15th at various, it looks like they're all around noon to 1. They're Wednesdays, but they have cool things like a cultural tasting of different Latin American food and drink and some other kinds of things. And so if you want more information, look up Lynn Benton Community College Hispanic Heritage Month. And then it looks like the Philomath Museum has an exhibit through October 21st. I don't know if it's currently set. I'm not quite sure when, like if it's up now, but it's called Native Innovation for the Indigenous Peoples Day. So learn how the First Nations in Oregon have used knowledge, creativity, and problem-solving skills to live and thrive for thousands of years. And there's one more. I swear there is. It's okay, it's not important. But yeah.
I heard a rumor that they were having maybe a veterans display. Do you know anything about that?
That sounds familiar, but I'll be at their board meeting on Thursday.
2 days. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And so I can let you know about that.
Thank you.
I just happened to see that online. So. That's it.
Love the museum.
Yeah, they're cool.
Very cool stuff. Okay, so we will jump into updates and announcements. First on that list is a quick update from the folks that tabled at the farmer's market. Curious to hear how that went, how conversations with folks happened.
It went well. We had a lot of people stop by and talk with us.
Yeah, I wish I would have kept track, but I didn't. But we had some people ask questions about access to different services and stuff. And so we gave out some committee flyers as well as stuff about the senior gathering. What is it called now? You call it something.
Philomath Sensational Senior Society. PSSS.
That's awesome. Shout out to Jane's line in the Philomath News about it.
Yes.
And
Article, and she also did the handout for the.
Thank you.
Did you have anything else to add, Alva, Jane?
No, I mentioned the sandwich board that we were, I felt like we were missing sandwich board that would let know the people before approaching us what they could find in that booth. Because people only find out that we were the Inclusivity Committee once they were there, and if they were curious and looking at handouts on the table, but maybe something that from far they could register as. And yeah.
I agree, a sign of some sort that indicates who you are.
Cool. Yeah, we can pass that
We
information.
can talk about that shortly.
Yeah. We have more on that sandwich board.
Okay, well, sounds good. I'm sad that I missed it, but I'm glad it was a good weekend, good outing for it. Good to lose track of how many people were there. That means lots of people were coming through.
Good number.
Better than 2.
Better than 2. And we talked with them.
Yay. And then some of that conversation segues pretty nicely into our next item, which is the updates on the last senior event that happened in September. And then any future events.
Go ahead.
We had a wonderful meeting. The city leaders is what we call it, meeting them. We had police chief, fire chief, city manager, mayor come and speak. And it was well received by everybody. We all learned things about what to do and what they do. And we learned that Chelsea has a forestry degree. I had no idea. Anyway, so it was really, I was very thankful to all those people that came and took the time to talk to our seniors, and the seniors received it very well. We also included a game day just recently on the 18th, just last week. And while we had a great time, there's only 5 or 6 of us that showed up. I thought that I was hearing from several people that they wanted more social time and some time to maybe just play games and downtime together. And so, you know, I would have loved to see a lot more people, but it's okay. We really did laugh, and we got to know people. There's a lady that doesn't know any of us, so she was there, and she bought the game, and it was a great game. So we had a good time. And, oh gosh, I went and visited the Corvallis Senior Center and the Corvallis Grace Center because I had been told that they were set up, you know, and they're both way different than ours. The Corvallis Senior Center is quite large, very organized, but I mean, we are welcome to go there. That is something that I did find out. If we do like exercise classes, it costs $8 per person. And then the other one, not so much. It's mostly for people that require a caregiver and maybe giving respite to the caregiver so they can drop off a patient that needs help there. So it was a wonderful place, very much needed, but I don't think it fit into our senior group very well. We're looking at other places. We've got leads on a couple places to hold them, but we won't say much about that until we know for sure.
Cool. You have a meeting, an October meeting planned?
Yes. October 14th is going to be in here at 10 o'clock, and it's on Medicare. And I know that most of you aren't on Medicare, but those of you are. The Samaritan Advantage program just got canceled, and that's like 15,000 customers in the generalized area that their coverage has been canceled. So they need to choose and find another way. And this is a local person from Philomath that is an expert on Medicare to just show and teach all the different options and how much they cost and what they cover and things like that, and which doctors you can go to. That's really important, because I talked to one senior that she had a favorite doctor, and then she got moved to a different insurance, so she couldn't go to that doctor anymore. She was pretty upset. So it's good to know and learn, and I'm just thankful. It's that RJS Insurance over by State Farm right on Main Street, and Renee, I think, is one of the owners, and she's coming to speak. Right. And then we have a game planned on October 30th at 3 p.m. Another game one, because now that we've done it once, I'm not going to give it up that easily.
Is that one at the library again?
We don't know yet.
Okay.
It might be somewhere more fun and special, but
Oh,
I still have to get details.
gotcha. I see what you're saying. Okay.
The 14th, you said, is at City Hall at
10 o'clock. Right here, and this is such an ideal place because it seats people, but also with the technology, which the library does not have, and neither do
And the acoustics.
Yeah, and the acoustics, oh my gosh. You probably don't know this, but I have a very loud voice. And in that little library room, I talk and somebody told me everyone was turning their hearing aids down because I'm kind of loud. And it just bounces. There's nothing there to absorb it. So the acoustics are bad. So that's another reason we might try to find a different place. And people have been actually offering, so that's really good. We've got a couple of offers on the table, so that's good.
Chris, is that something that we can put on the city Facebook, like monthly when that group is meeting, or is that?
I think we have been for that one.
Okay, cool,
Yeah, it's on the monthly calendar.
awesome. Cool, that's exciting.
It is, I, someday, it doesn't have to be today, it would be good to clarify if this is a governmental program we're doing, because we are on a official city committee doing it from this, or if it's just kind of our own thing. And it just, because what, for example, I just had a possible grant to apply for, and I decided not to, but if I was with the government, then I didn't have to do anything. Otherwise, I'd have to become a nonprofit and go through all the bunch of work. So to clarify that.
And also, if there's a budget, we had.
Yeah, we have no
wonder-
money. And Jane and I have been buying things out of our pocket, but we would like that not to continue. I mean, it's been fine. We've been enthusiastic about, I say it's been fine, maybe it's been fine. But I don't know that it can continue that way. So we are maybe going to look for it. The one was just a much larger grant than we needed. So I'm going to look for something maybe smaller that we can get.
Be a good conversation to have.
I think when we talk about the handbook, mentions their partnerships or.
Yeah, we can talk a bit about what that looks like and where that fits, because, yeah.
Down the road. That's not.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting. I'm looking forward to hearing more about this special TBD October 30th situation. Okay. The National Hispanic Latino Heritage Month event update. I know that stuff has been.
Yeah, Amanda had to
moving.
hear me vent about this on Friday. Yeah, so we all met, all of us except for Chris, who was not able to make it, to just kind of discuss what do we want this to look like for the first year, what are we planning on doing? And what we kind of came to closure on was, this is the first time we've ever done something like this as a committee. Do people in Philomath even know what Hispanic Heritage Month is? So for the first year, it's kind of like, okay, we just have a booth that has information, probably has a sign up to try and gauge interest for people who would be interested in volunteering or helping out with a larger event to be held sometime next year. That would be the kind of thing where we're not going to do anything before the end of the year, so probably before January, just because everybody is very busy. But if we could kind of get some names down and figure out who is willing to volunteer, who wants to find out just more about it and what we are planning, we can start moving that way. To that end, I know that the three of us have been reaching out to different community partners, trying to find anybody that is willing to help. And Jessica was nice enough to point out to me that there was a Hispanic Heritage Month event being held in Albany. We ended up going there, getting FaceTime with Casa Latinas Unidades, and they had me fill out like a piece of paper thing saying like, here's how to like reach me and here's what you would be contacting me about. And that was a week and a half ago, and they have not gotten back to me. I have not been successful in contacting them. Alba has also tried to contact them and not been successful. Other people at the event, we're not really within the scope of what we do. Like, we're not looking to help people sign up for OHP or anything, and we're not trying to help people with like workplace disputes. So at this point, my thought is, considering what we want to do and how limited it is, simply having like, here are some handouts. What is Hispanic Heritage Month? How can the community help you? Possibly in English and Spanish would be helpful. I don't think we need to make a big deal about this. Having the presence and being like, look, the community is here is probably enough. So Jessica was kind enough to share some handout stuff with us during the meeting. I did bookmark that. And my thought at this point is I'll probably just go to FedEx Kinko's and print off a bunch of flyers, call it good. If anybody has any input on what they would like to see, the sandwich board comes to mind. I think that would be great, but otherwise, I think just tabling and being present as people who are obviously of Hispanic descent is probably enough. One of the things that I did hear and have been hearing from talking to people in the community is how many heritage events have been canceled this year, just given the political climate, and that may be why people have not been getting back to us. Nobody wants to kind of put a target on their back. I don't like the thought of that, but I think that might be part of the roadblock, just considering everything that is going on right now.
And on that note, this, I mean, since we're not going to be printing out like thousands or anything like that,
No.
I'm sure the city would be happy to print some flyers, correct, Chris?
Yeah, just in a moment.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah,
And
I think the
then-
three of us can talk offline about what we want to see. Because flyer design is not one of my strong points, but we can probably find something that's either
Well, I
remade.
think it would be a great idea to send them if Crystal can help us, because she has been coordinating, the colors and so I think it would be
Perfect.
yes, and because we also were thinking how are we going to, how much information about immigration were we going to give, if we were going to at all at that point. But from hearing what you're saying, I think it's just important to just remember what the celebration is about, and involve everyone in it, not just the Hispanic population, but just bringing awareness.
Yeah, I do think like having like, for instance, red cards out is probably a good idea. If there's any like city information that's, like how to get help from the city that's in English and Spanish, like that might be helpful to have as well. But like, yeah, I don't think we need to worry about like, oh, and like here's all these wonderful like community organizations you can reach out to or anything, because they haven't gotten back to us. So I don't really want to point people at them. And
I don't know if you read an email earlier. Kathy was here a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you remember. Catalina. She has a community group here for Hispanic people in Philomath. She works in Philomath and Corvallis. And she maybe was going to come to this meeting, but she is interested in.
If La Raza has anything, I did read your email.
Yeah, that's right.
If they have anything that they would like us to like put at the booth, I think that's great, and that would be something that we could easily do. Like I said, my big thought with the whole community partners piece is like, I don't want to direct people. I mean, like,
exactly.
here's where to go, and then no one ever gets back to them, because that's been my experience. It's been your experience. I don't think Jessica's had any luck. So
Yeah.
And then real quick, on the note of signage and flyers, we talked about potentially having the joint statement from the mayor and police chief available. And I spoke with Chelsea, said that I could work with Crystal to get signage for us, and I haven't heard back from Crystal to see whether the images she had and stuff already were if they were scalable to the sandwich board. Basically, I was saying we could have two signs, one that's just basic Inclusivity Committee information, and she was kind enough to design our most recent flyers. And so I was like, can we just blow that up to sandwich board size? And so she was looking into that, and then just using the design from the banner for saying hey, we're celebrating National Hispanic and Latinx Month. And so we'll see. But I was like, if there's anything you think that should be on a sandwich board that is missing currently, just let us know.
Yeah, also the proclamation that I think we're late to have it reviewed.
Yeah, that's right, from 2023, we said.
Yes.
Which, did anyone send that to staff? Like, then, you said that it's not in the Dropbox? That we had a proclamation.
From 2023 is the, or no, it was a proclamation in 2023.
Yeah, it was approved. But I know that people said that it wasn't in the Dropbox.
I didn't see it in there, and I didn't send it,
Okay,
but I can.
okay.
But who know, I mean, it's not possible to have it reviewed by October 12th, is it?
No, because we
So-
would need to do it now and then have it, we're not having a council meeting until after.
Okay. So we just put that for the next year and send it 3 months in advance, I think, to the city council.
Yes, so we can have time to work on it, yeah. And that's kind of what we'll work on next month, is thinking about what we want to work on next year and sort of getting that stuff on the calendar, like if we want to do proclamations.
Yeah.
That month, and then when we need to have the draft done, sort of thing, kind of naturally flow from that. Sounds good. I think that.
I'm very frustrated, but that's okay.
Yeah, I wonder if there would be something, because it's like the last day of the market. I don't know if there would be maybe Brian and Janelle have like a list of vendors that work at the market that would want to be highlighted or not at our booth, like kind of as a partner. I don't know. Just trying to think of like other local folks. It's frustrating that.
Well, I think given the current climate, I understand why, but it also sucks for us because we're planning something very small and it's like, hey, all I really need you to do is be like, we're okay with you using our name on this. Here's the flyer we would like you to have at the booth. And there's
They don't even have to be there.
no,
They can't.
they don't need to table with us.
Mhm.
It's literally just send me a PDF and I'll print it out. But apparently that is too high of a bar to clear. So
Busy time.
Did we raise hands?
Yeah.
Yes.
A couple of things. I think, again, I would stress that I think if we planned this 3 months ago or 4 months ago, it might have been easier to pull some of that materials together. But my other suggestion was for the senior program, we've come up with a senior resources. It's just like almost like an old phone book that says, plumbers and vents and roofers. And would that leave some of it out, like probably the nursing home stuff, maybe. But would that be appropriate to translate into Spanish and use as a resource for them as well? I don't know.
Yeah.
I
think it's a good idea.
yeah, and just to the point about if we've been planning this 3 or 4 months ago, I started working on this in June. I've had no luck getting anybody to get back to me. So I think like the climate is really working against us right now. Like, I promise I'm normally very on top of things.
We believe you.
Yeah. But no, I think if you have a list of resources like for the community, that would be great. Yeah, absolutely.
I'll just give it to you. You can translate it whenever you have time, because I don't have it with me, but
Yeah, no, there's no rush.
Yeah, even if it doesn't, I don't know how long the list
No,
is. or
I've seen it.
yeah,
Okay.
it's 12 pages.
It's long, but
Yeah.
but it's a small text.
And I really think like some of the care, I don't know, I suppose they might need nursing homes too.
I mean, honestly, yeah.
We got some of the stuff from the Dementia Warrior Group, and there was a whole lot, there's like 20 nursing homes listed and caregivers and things like that, which is really good for seniors, but not necessarily the whole population.
Yes.
And
Although
so you
it is-
could pare it down.
I
maybe.
found it very useful for my family since we've been here short
Yes.
time,
Yes.
and it's very useful to know
Yes, good. So
this information. I think everyone can.
Is it not too hard for you to translate it into Spanish? That would be great.
And also, I think it shows inclusivity, translating it and just putting the information there, just to trying to help them to have access also to all the resources of the community.
Yeah. No, I definitely think if there's anything like through the city that's already translated, it might be worthwhile to have that out there too. Just kind of, what resources exist, where can you get help from, like within the city of Philomath.
Yes.
Can we translate our proclamations and some of the stuff we put out? It seems like that would be a step. Is that too hard?
I don't know.
For this event, probably no. Like,
Yeah, I was
that's
gonna say, I think
not
like,
really applicable,
no, if we translate anything, I would say the joint statement would be what we would want to have a Spanish translation of.
which we already have.
Yeah, which I was gonna say, I believe already exists.
But what I don't know, maybe I misunderstood Diane, but maybe for proclamations in general. you
Yeah,
mean,
well,
if-
each month, if we're talking about a social media post, just translate it into Spanish and post it at the same place. Yeah.
I think
Like
I've
a
seen a
policy
couple,
thing.
but yes,
Yeah.
maybe we
But-
can talk about that for.
It's a great idea, Diana. I can't do it. So. But it seems like it would be.
Yeah. That might be something to talk about in the October meeting too. Just something we start working on.
Missions and goals, although that will come up today too, a bit.
I'll email you that resource list.
Is there anything, I know we discussed some ideas here as far as materials that could be at the booth. Is there anything else that the committee as a whole can do to sort of support this, or do you feel?
I think we're probably okay. I'm not, well, like I said, it would have been nice. This is nice to have, and I would have really preferred to work with a community partner for this, just because then we can point people to them and be like, and if you need help, like, here are people in the community you can work with. But if they didn't get back to us, they didn't get back to us, and there's not much we can do about that.
True.
No, I mean, apart from the printing, which I think Jessica just talked about, and working with Crystal, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Diane's list is great, but she's already promised to send it to Alba, so.
Well, I don't know if you members of the Inclusivity Committee could be there. I think you're not going to be in town.
No,
Yeah.
that's a family reunion.
Jane could pop up. Or, would be great.
If you want to go. October 12th, right?
October 12th, 11 to 3. Yeah, no, if anybody wants to come and table with us, especially, yeah, Diane, even if you're not available, Jane, if you're available for the senior stuff in particular, I think that would be great. Because everybody gets old. Well, everybody who's lucky enough to live that long gets old, right?
It's a great choice. The alternative's not so good.
The thing is that I think part of this committee is that, because I do go to the senior citizens meeting, is that I don't know, you get the chance to be concerned about different groups of people, and so it's nice if we can intermingle and.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I guess when you're asking in my head, I'm already like, well, people are probably going to volunteer to do this.
The only
Friends will be there.
other thing I would say is that some sort of like short blurb or something that can go on Facebook ahead of it, so that people know that we have we'll be at the table, but there's a specific reason, and here's what we're doing and why.
Stop by our yeah, stop by our table to learn more about Hispanic Heritage Month and, yeah,
Yeah. And then we can still have some Inclusivity Committee
absolutely.
flyers and stuff out.
I think that's a good plan. Yeah.
Cool. Well, that sounds like a good event, good table situation.
Yeah, I guess my only other question is how large of a table is it?
It's an
It's like a,
like a regular folding.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
I know we're all just like this.
Like one of the like 6-foot light block tables?
Yeah.
They're like 6x3 or something, yeah.
Yeah, the gray ones.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Perfect.
Cool.
I'm glad you pulled something together, and I'm proud of you for doing that because we needed to.
Boy, well, don't be proud of me until we pull it off, right?
Put the effort in, that's important.
Oh, I was just curious if you wanted to see if she. Sorry, I'm just being weird.
This is like,
Again?
side.
Yeah. When am I not?
Me too.
I feel like there's like side texting.
No,
It's verbal.
it's,
You were talking about a Dropbox, and I don't know what a Dropbox.
there's,
It's okay. I
Yeah.
don't need to know.
you're like, I don't want that. Don't burden me with that information.
Yeah, I was gonna say, my Dropbox is already full. Please don't.
Well, that's very exciting. I go. I won't come and volunteer because then we'll be at quorum, but I will come by and
We can wave.
say hello
You're
as
probably
a
gonna be-
community member.
Yeah, you'll probably be helping Aaron with bread anyway.
Possibly. Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah. But
It's-
any excuse to come to the farmer's market.
Yeah.
It's not a quorum until there's 4,
Oh, well, in that
Five?
case.
because there's 9, right? So it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
5 official committee
Okay,
members.
well, then I will be there.
Cool. I was gonna say, you can come hang out with us.
Awesome. All right, well, I'm excited about that. Yeah. I'm gonna get back to my spot and the agenda.
Business time.
Business time. Oh dear. Okay, so the next item on our agenda and where we'll spend the remainder of the meeting is talking about the Inclusivity Committee Handbook, specifically the mission and objectives in practice, and probably mostly that first page and a half, because we can talk about the statement and things like that. We did spend quite a lot of time earlier this year going over a lot of the sort of form and function stuff in the rest of the handbook, but we can glance at that if folks are interested. But I think we can, yeah. So in the packet, I put some questions. Jessica and I had a conversation ahead of time and kind of were thinking about what the goal of this conversation is. So we have 4 questions that we wanted folks to sort of think about as they were going through this agenda beforehand, and then tonight as we're working through it. What do you think the missions and objectives of the Inclusivity Committee are? Do the current missions and objectives match what you expected when you joined the committee? What are we currently doing as a committee to meet the missions and objectives, and what could we do better? So those questions have been in my head for a while, and then obviously more specifically as we talked a few meetings ago about action and what we're doing as a committee to actually, speak to our proclamation and the things that we say we're doing as a committee. So as we're, having our last couple of meetings for this year and prepping for productive 2026, what do we want that to look like? And then from this, next month, we'll talk about actual tangible things we want to do next year with this sort of framework we're talking about. So, does anyone want to kick us off with any thoughts? It is a lot of stuff, but we have.
And I'll just apologize real quick. I didn't I didn't realize that Crystal was going to accept, or the track changes have what was deleted, so I didn't need to send that initial like readable version. So you kind of have like two that are effectively the same anyway.
Well, and that was, I put them both into the folder, so she just was like,
I mean, I love
There's
that
probably
way,
a
and I'm
reason
gonna do
that
it that way
I'm
now.
but
Yeah, anyway.
I like having.
And I will not be offended if you say that certain ideas this is especially for some of the things I added, like where we've kind of talked about a general concept of like, hey, we should have some sort of, you know, communicate, like rules of engagement of how we interact with one another. But there wasn't really much beyond that. So I just kind of, it's a very first rough draft of these additional concepts that we haven't fully talked about before. So yeah, I'm totally cool with that.
So as my mentor would say, it has the consistency of hot jello,
Hot Jello.
which is to say, we haven't said it yet. It needs to go in the fridge before
I see.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Like referencing Kool-Aid. Will you drink my hot Kool-Aid? YouTube?
No, I'm not. No, you're not.
I'll show it to you later.
Is there anything in the missions and objectives that folks like have strong feelings about? Like it should be there, it shouldn't be there. I like what it says, but I wish it was different. It like just because there are 5 items there doesn't mean that those 5 items need to stay there. Is there?
Well, I have a previous question.
Yeah.
Are we going to discuss only mission and objectives today?
We can discuss whatever it is the committee wants to discuss. I was just, that was,
Okay.
yeah. But if there are other things in the handbook that you want to talk about, we can talk about any of it.
Okay, because I think the mission and objectives match the idea that I had when I joined the Inclusivity Committee, and I think they are large enough to contain what we are trying to do here and the activities that I've known related to this committee.
Yeah, I really like the mission and objectives as written. It matches with what my expectations were when I joined the committee. I will say I appreciate that it outlines that a lot of it is, about learning, making recommendations is not so much about direct action, because that's not really what the purpose of the committee is, and making that clear may help with setting expectations for any members coming in.
Do you think that I tend to, when I think about what we're doing as a committee, I know it tends to be, oh, there needs to be this like big tangible thing that we're working on all the time. Like we have to be doing something, therefore we should have an event or we should be doing something. And if the last year has shown me anything, it's that we are all stretched very thin. And the idea of like
Adding more.
doing all of that all the time. And so like, where is that balance of like, we're being a productive committee that is engaging with the community and being inclusive and sharing this like passion and education that we have. Like, how do we do that with also not, having 6, 7 events a year, and also like, but also not just like spending all of our time drafting proclamations, and that's the work that we're doing, right? Like, if every meeting we're meeting to draft a document that gets posted online and that's all we're doing, like, so I don't know what that in-between thing is.
I think we actually hit the in-between thing pretty well right now. Where we do have events, we do have things that we put on, but that not every month needs an event because, quite frankly, we're a pretty small city. And the Inclusivity Committee is also quite small. So in terms of what our budget is, how much time we have, we're not, we're not Portland.
Right.
And we need to be realistic, I think, in like what the objectives are and what we're hoping to do. And an event every month is just not going to happen, especially not in like November, December. We've already touched on this.
Yeah.
So I think we are doing more than just writing proclamations. I like I said, I think the balance of work is pretty decent. I don't know how to more clearly encode that in the missions and objectives.
I wonder, just based on our conversation before and then like what has been said now, I wonder, so I had used some language about like work plans, and I know we've kind of talked about having like a strategic plan, but definitely not a strategic plan. Something that is far more simplified where we're like, this is what we'd like to do next year. And maybe there's some like goals for the following year as well. Like, and so thinking about my experience with the People of Color Caucus at the League of Oregon Cities, we just developed a work plan because we've been struggling with that as well. And it has that kind of narrow but also broad approach. And I wonder if that has more to do with like develop, sorry if you had implied this or said it already, but like maybe that's something to develop is like a work plan, because I'm thinking about like the age-friendly communities, how the senior group came out of that, and how we were originally going towards the AARP kind of program, and that came out of another community member had said, hey, you should think about seniors in this AARP program, and so then we had a conversation, and it's kind of like we could revisit that broader conversation, and do some of those recommendations, and the senior group can be a part of that. It's something that we're not all involved in, but if the city, we aren't all necessarily involved in, but if the people in the group are interested in like having younger folks come in and work together as well, then that's something we can explore. And anyway, that was just kind of like an example. But anyway, just thoughts about potentially developing a work plan and exploring some of these broader ideas, including coming up with potential policy suggestions to make to council.
I think that's really covered in bullet point 4 in the missions and objectives, 4 and 5, really.
Mm-hmm.
So I maybe if you want to clarify that, like, including like action items or whatever, that could be language to add. But I don't think we need to reinvent the wheel here.
Yeah, sorry, I meant in general, like that should be maybe a work plan should be separate from this handbook.
Sure.
Like that comes out of it.
Yeah.
Like we should work towards a plan.
My impression, this is maybe my third year, I want to put a really good spin on this. There was no calendar. There was no real, I am so proud of this group. Was it you and Christopher that put the calendar together? I don't know who it was.
Okay, Hudsaker.
Rose put the calendar, or, well, it depends on which
Okay,
section you're talking about.
anyway,
A lot of people put it
The
together.
fact that we have a calendar is huge. That we focus quite a bit on that. I do think we are a small group. I think we are a small town. I'm going to say this, and if you don't like it, you can tell me. I don't care. I don't think we need to do the same months every year in a celebration. So I am a little bit opposed to going out and finding 12 more months, that we would celebrate, because I don't think we've done a great job of celebrating the 12 that we have. And so I'm saying if we've done 3, good for us, let's go find 3 more months that we can celebrate. And so we have full diversity throughout the year of the different groups to honor. And that could be a plan for a work plan, because I think if we're going to try to do 12 months a year or even 6, it's too much for us to handle. But I think if we maybe do 3, and we've done Black History Month a couple of times, we've done the Pride a couple of times. We did a Veterans last year, so I think maybe it's time to do 3 more. And if we're doing the Hispanic Heritage Month this year, that's great. Let's maybe look for 2 more to do and focus on that. That will help us to do a good job at what we're doing without being overloaded on so many things. Okay, I think that's what I was going to say.
I'm not exactly sure how this is related to my concern in the handbook about partnering with organization and community groups, but I think it is because are we as the Inclusivity Committee organizing all of these events, or are some members of the Inclusivity Committee with other community members external to the committee organizing these events? And so they could keep organizing them outside of the committee and partnering with the Inclusivity Committee. And I think this confusion was evident when Rose herself didn't know if Pride was or not part of the, or was an Inclusivity Committee activity. Like there was some confusion there. And I think it would be good for part of the handbook, and also like how we are organizing our activities, just to discuss that, like what's the link between each one of us and those activities perhaps, or to the committee in itself. And I think it might also have to do something with the budget that we were mentioning, how the city supports those events, in what degree.
Do we have a budget for something?
No. But we're allowed to have, and I know that Chris and the council can decide for us, but is it just out of the council?
The city council has a budget
Education.
for education and training, and we've used that when we've brought in guest speakers. But outside of that, we've not had like money for this committee to spend on flyers and all that. We just kind of
Right.
let
That's
administrative.
education and training is what I remembered, and that can only fit so many things that we've done.
I
And
think
it's not ours.
I think, I mean, I might be wrong, but if Pride is not an Inclusivity Committee event, then the people that organize Pride are free to organize it every year.
Oh, certainly, and other people can organize a Black History Month every year, or a Veterans
Or
thing
Hispanic
every year, yeah, or a Hispanic.
Heritage Month.
But it seems like if we would just focus on 3 things, and if we've already done it, then we move our focus on to something we haven't done, seems to me
Yeah, but when you say that, I think there's like a collective focus, and then might be between, the whole inclusivity committee.
Well, and also, I'd also recognize that we each have, I said that last time, our special concern, and we want to address that special concern every time. And they are important. I'm not saying any of them are not important. If we were bigger, if we had a budget for the Justice Committee, if we had people that would work for us, we could do more than 3 a year, but it seems like we don't have that bandwidth to handle things and do it well. I mean, I think we should strive to do it as good as we can, so I don't.
So to go back to your original question, because I'm pretty sure I helped take it off the rails. It sounds like no one has any issues with the mission and objectives section. And that there's just ideas about, and that like since then we've been discussing ideas about what we want to do moving forward for this next year. Does that sound about right? I just want to make sure I'm on the same page.
How does everybody feel about objective A1? Because I know that got tackled early on and then nobody's really made any progress or effort towards that. Is that something the committee still wants to focus on, or are we past that and on to other things?
The
So I'll just-
city documents?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll just clarify the mission and objectives section, objectives and practice section. I don't think that that's the case. Like I
When
don't.
you said objectives, I dropped
Yeah.
into there.
No, you're good. I just wanted to, like, I totally agree that we should be changing that section.
Mission. Stop the mission, and I didn't keep reading objective.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're totally good.
But to answer your question, I definitely still think that's something that we're interested in. And I think the last time we talked about this, there was a conversation about how it would be not necessarily us combing through every document in the city's archive, but if there were specific documents or as new documents were generated, we could be consulted and the reason Jessica put the strategic plan edit in here was that there was mention of after council sort of has that draft of the strategic plan, we can look at it as the Inclusivity Committee and see where our missions sort of fit into that strategic plan and look at it from a inclusive accessibility sort of lens.
Yeah, I'm really torn on this because we don't want to go back into the charter and evaluate the
Right.
wording, because first of all, everybody has to vote on that to even change the wording, and I don't think that's a good use of our time. I definitely think things that go out, we should be aware of, and we can give our input, but we are not over the city council that may approve a proclamation, and then we can't say, well, no, you can't do that.
Right.
We can suggest, we can offer our thoughts, but that's what I think.
Yeah. But to that point, if I was reading through the city charter or the municipal code and I found something glaring, I could be like, I'm bringing this to this committee, or anybody in the public, if they found something in, the depths of that language that was problematic, we could then visit that, and if there was something that we thought could potentially change, we could move a suggestion to the council through the proper channels.
When was the charter last written?
Quiz time.
1882.
Oh, God.
I'm just saying that I think there's definitely going to be some gender issues because of the way they talked and because they had a male-dominated society at that time. I think things have changed, so we want to know whether we want to battle that sort of thing, because again, every change we have to take to the voters, and I think that's pretty cumbersome. I think we just move to make sure everything we put out in the future doesn't have those kind of issues. And I feel like we've been doing a better job with that, because I think we've made corrections in city council meetings even. Jessica's been good about bringing up suggestions, and if it's not worded quite equal enough, that she brought things up, but I would really hesitate going back to a document that old and try to revise it. I mean, it's so big. I printed it off when I first became a city council member, thinking I was going to read through it, and I go, yeah, it was hard. But
Yeah.
It's more of a reference guide. I have a question. Let me check the municipal code and charter.
So I have some nitpicky things for mission and objectives.
You're good.
How does the group feel about striking the last bit of the first sentence where it says creating a diverse and accessible city for future generations by, to just say diverse and accessible city by, colon? Because I don't really want to just do it for future generations. I kind of like we should do it.
It's the
First
intro
paragraph.
sentence right after mission.
Line 18.
Line 19, right?
15 or 30 or
18.
Line 19.
page 12?
11.
Yes, 11.
You in the track
Sorry,
changes
right,
version?
Okay. Okay.
Diane, are you in the track changes version?
I got the draft, yeah.
Oh,
I can draft it.
There you go.
Draft.
Thank you.
Page 21. Page 21 of the packet, line 19. Rather than saying that we want to do this for future generations, just say
I like it.
I do.
Diverse and
would be to strike for future generations.
Period, strike those last 4 words, yeah.
3 words.
I think we want to keep by at the end.
Okay.
Not the last 3 words, but the
Three.
3.
The last.
3.
Being stricken.
I like that. That is a good suggestion.
The other one I put a question mark by was, I don't know how common of a phrase it is. It's not very familiar to me. Fostering a brave space where learning new ideas on learning biases can happen. I know it used to say safe space, and I understand the reason for not doing safe. But brave doesn't resonate with me as much. So what about using the term like a welcoming space?
Non-judgmental space. I actually kind of liked the brave, because it does take a degree of bravery to speak up, give your opinion.
Could you put improve quality of life for its residents and visitors? Because I feel like that kind of encompasses it all, maybe.
Sorry, where are you referencing?
You give us a page number and a line.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just responding to what you guys were talking about. I don't
About
have a
the-
page number line.
About the brave space part?
No, it was the bit before that.
Oh, the future generations?
Yes.
What was the suggestion?
Sorry, can you repeat what your suggestion was for that sentence?
Oh, you had said it was you were going to remove the word by, and I was saying that you could put in to improve the quality of life of residents and visitors.
Oh, no, we were going to remove for future generations so that it's just saying, just in general, it's not just for future generations, it's also for the present.
Oh, gotcha.
We're leaving by in.
Yeah, we're leaving by in there.
Okay.
Thank you, though. To clarify about the changing to brave space, the idea was, pretty much trying to encompass that welcoming and non-judgmental, and like being brave enough to say something, even if you're not quite sure about the language, and trusting to a certain extent that like it's part of what's in the community agreements that I tried to bake in there of like, let's trust each other, that we're all here to, like, we have good intentions and to let each other know, like, hey, you might not want to say it that way. And to try to, have that understanding of we're all learning and it's okay to make mistakes. And yes, it's embarrassing and uncomfortable, but that's what makes it a brave space, is being okay with that.
I will say I run a couple of different communities, including a hybrid one that's offline and online. One of the rules that we have that I think might fit here and kind of address what both you and Chris are saying is that we explicitly have in the community code of conduct a line that says, by participating, you agree to assume good faith and good intentions.
To what, sorry?
By participating, you agree to assume good faith and good intentions. Until
the best of others.
Yeah, until proven otherwise, basically, but that's implied, not directly stated. So with your
Hopefully you're not proven otherwise.
yeah, hopefully not, but we've had a where it's like, okay, never mind. But it sounds like having something that just explicitly says, like, by participating, we understand this is a space where we must assume good faith and good intentions. Brave space, welcoming space. I think that kind of, you're both speaking the same language.
Yeah.
Coming from the same place, but maybe being a little more granular and like what that means would be helpful.
So then, would the suggestion be fostering
a brave space where participants assume good faith and good intentions
While
in interactions with others,
learning.
whatever, while learning.
I did not have any problem with brave, but now that I've been thinking about it, I think that it's a little like Chris said, it doesn't resonate. And I was thinking because maybe because the space is not brave, like the adjective is not for the space, the people have to be brave in that space. And so I kind of like the suggestion of Diane of a welcoming space, but even maybe not adjective at all, with the suggestion of Jen. It could be simply fostering a space that.
Or what about an atmosphere? If we took brave space out and put atmosphere, would that not say what we want?
Brave atmosphere would actually kind of convey it.
Yeah. Because it's also the vibes. It's not just the location. It's the
He's giving me an
energy.
vibe right now. I'm sorry. I'm not sure I like it.
Wow.
And I do also, I think the goal is a welcoming space, but, based on comments that we've received, this is not always a welcoming space for everyone, even if we're intending for it to be. And so I think our goal is always to try to achieve that, but even, the whitest person alive walking through that door is coming into a room of people who already have an established, relationship. So even that person is sort of off kilter coming into a space like this. So like, if there are added challenges, so I think the wording, like, this is not necessarily, as much as we want it to be a welcoming space for everybody,
It's not.
like, it's not,
Right.
We're trying,
But the fostering indicates to me that
Yeah.
we're working on it.
Exactly.
And we're not there yet.
Yeah.
And I think that's accurate.
Yeah, like that's the intent, is to be welcoming.
Yeah, I'm fine with leaving the brave there, because again, having been coming to these meetings for as long as I have, I understand the sentiment behind brave. But if you talk to somebody who hasn't been coming to these meetings for a long time, it kind of is a trigger word, if you will. People may feel a little put off, because I don't want to go to a meeting where I have to be brave, but I go to a meeting where I feel welcomed.
Yeah.
And while I'm welcomed and I'm learning about new ideas and I'm learning my biases, sharing lived experiences, I'd rather be in a welcoming meeting to that than feel like I'm signing up for a brave meeting where I have to do that. So I was just trying to take some of the jargon out, because I think a brave space is a little bit DEI.
It has big
right.
Brene Brown vibes, and that's why I don't like it. But if people, my own personal bias here is to move away from that word just because I'm like, oh God, more white feminism. But I understand why it's there. And if other committee members like it and want to keep it, I do not care enough.
I don't think
like,
most of the members want to keep it.
Yeah, I don't know who wants to keep it or what we want to do.
So what I'm hearing is fostering
Atmosphere.
or an atmosphere or a substitute brave for something else, where we assume good faith and good intentions while learning new ideas, unlearning biases, and sharing lived experiences can occur.
I
Or
agree.
where learning, sorry.
I think that's
Another
very
word.
good.
Yeah, I think
Except I don't think we have to have brave in there. I think
Just delete it.
fostering an
fostering a
atmosphere
space.
where
Yeah,
people are-
period.
And good intentions while where learning, right? So two wheres in that.
Or while learning.
That's what I thought, but it's while learning new ideas, unlearning biases, and sharing lived experiences, and then delete can occur. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I think that.
Okay, thank you. I get hung up on words sometimes.
Good. Somebody has to.
Wait, make it a sentence for me.
Make it as clear as it can be.
Science brain. Thank you, everyone.
I feel called out by that.
Sorry.
I know, I'm just using.
Science writing brain. Oh.
Okay, ready for my next one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you define knowledge building opportunity as opposed to like an educational opportunity or a growing opportunity or an informational?
I almost think it's
Sharing
knowledge,
opportunity.
comma, building opportunities, but maybe I'm reading it wrong.
It intentionally supposed, or the intention was supposed to be knowledge building, not knowledge, comma, building. But I would have to think about whether that is, I think the reason, if I remember correctly, the idea of educational, of saying like, hey, if you're coming here, we're going to teach you things. We are the experts, and like trying to avoid that because no one, well, okay, there are experts, but like no, like
Yeah, I know
we're-
everything.
we're not like necessarily claiming
Growing
that, and
opportunities.
while there might be some.
Well, following the logical that presented, that Chris presented about, just keeping it for the general public, I think informational is pretty casual, and people might be like, oh, I like information.
Informational opportunities. I like that. That's
Everyone cool with informational opportunities?
I think so. I mean, to me, it just means like outreach and education is with the theme of people. Yeah.
Cool beans.
On number 3, I actually like both aspects, but these just feel like they're separate and kind of put together. Offering opportunities for cultural exchange and a space for conversations, I like, while prioritizing accessibility. It feels like we should be prioritizing accessibility with like
Regardless.
any of these things, not just this specific thing. So it's almost like we need a separate, if we want to prioritize accessibility, it kind of needs its own separate mission or objective statement that's not trying to munch in with this one or any of them specifically. When we hit accessible city at the beginning, so again, I think it's good to do it. I just felt like it was like a tag on, and it kind of cheapens it a little bit. So if you want to wordsmith a new objective that just deals with the accessibility aspect of it, because as we're learning, accessibility isn't just handicapped, it's not just seniors, it's also different nationalities, it's also different age groups, it's, accessibility factor is larger than just one culture, one age group.
Sure. Thank you.
Maybe.
So just prioritizing accessibility, or like,
Like, yeah,
would
maybe
that
like,
be enough?
maybe with like some, like, vague specifics about like through like,
Offering materials and translation.
yeah, like,
Holding
through
meetings in accessible ways.
events, like accommodations and,
Yeah.
or something, just like prioritizing accessibility, like at our events and through our.
I don't see us prioritizing accessibility. Of course, my first thought is mobility challenge. I don't see us reaching out to, I mean, we do this, but
Well, we pick like venues that have, like, we do the museum, they have the elevator and like,
But
just,
to
but yeah,
get
I mean,
in,
like, well,
you
that's
have
the
to
thing
go
is
in the
there's,
back and it's
there's
hard,
work,
yeah.
like, there's work to do there,
Yeah.
for sure.
I think the idea is like, if we went to a place where there wasn't an elevator and it was on the second floor, then that would not be okay, like, kind of a thing. And, you know, if we had to choose, then let's choose the one with an elevator. Or, even though there's still obstacles, if you don't have any other alternatives, then like allowing people to actually come to an event or something like that would be the better choice. You know what I mean?
And again, we're talking about this accessibility, not just in terms of like mobility and physical
Yes.
disability, but we were literally talking about this with the Hispanic heritage thing, where it's offering materials and translation for the community.
So maybe is a little more nuts and bolts, and maybe it's a little more specific. I mean, if we're looking at the sentence, fostering inclusive, just, equitable community that honors its past while creating diverse and accessible city by, maybe it's just as easy as like utilizing accessible buildings, publicizing in multiple languages where appropriate. But, you know, I mean, maybe it's a couple of those things where rather than just say we're going to prioritize accessibility, we list out a couple of things that we're going to do that shows how we're prioritizing accessibility. That could be mobile, could be language, could be controller age or whatever. So
Thank you for guidance. We'll definitely come to you all. There's definitely a sense.
I think it's something that needs to be thought about.
Thank you. Yeah, I've looked at these words for so long, I kind of forget what they mean in the order that they're, you know, strung together.
You have other comments?
the last sentence, I think, is just a word order. I think if you said reviewing actions and practice within city governance and providing recommendations
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
potential improvement
The classic
to city
Jefferson.
leadership.
Thank you.
What, kind of going up to 4, I don't know, like, I've ever been involved in this, but this feels like, to me, like, I don't know what that, like, if this is something we actually do or how that would look.
Number 4?
Yeah, like, I don't know if, I mean,
Well,
I guess it would,
yeah, I think that, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but the senior citizen giving information about, or just having these city leaders.
We got to meet the
yeah.
leaders, yeah. That was something.
Yeah.
but I mostly, like, when I read that, I see, like, I guess someone in the city or a resident sends a message to the committee, and then we sort of pass that along to the council. Is that what that was the intent about? Or
I don't remember the original intention necessarily, but I think it has to do with prioritizing reaching out to those communities to try to like to be able to connect them with city leadership, but also like recruit for involvement, basically, because the idea of what we talked before about civic engagement of like, well, if you have one demographic involved in civics, then like how inclusive are you really being when you don't have all these other lived experiences represented and being considered. And so I think that's what that's
I agree with that, because to me, when I read this, I hear if I have a problem as like an underrepresented like person in this community and I bring it to you, I am expecting some sort of action, which we are not
That's not
intending
what
for
it
that.
is.
We can point you in the direction or potentially take an action on that, like reaching out to somebody. But we're not, like, there's nothing we can do. Like, we're we're a committee. Like,
I see what you're saying.
yeah. So, which I think is great. Like, we've had lots of conversations that have come from like members of the community reaching out to us, and I don't want to stop that from happening, like, because we want to hear from the community, but I think we can state that in a different way, and then also if this is, more about how to get folks in town involved in this committee, and then city government wording that differently.
Okay, I have a note to work on that. Slash, if anyone has, like,
we can,
over time has any specific word edits or even just concepts, please reach out to me and let me know.
because we can do another glance at this in October, because all of this will be using as a reference for talking about our 2026 plans.
Sounds good.
Cool. Anyone else have any thoughts on mission and objectives? What are we at on time? 7:00 almost.
You have 4 minutes.
Oh yeah, sorry if I jumped ahead.
No, you're good.
Wow.
Oh, good, nothing. An idea. Yeah, well, you watch that in the future.
One thing maybe to
Yes, ma'am.
add on a little lighter note on all this is I do think one of the things that we do well as a committee is we celebrate diversity, and I think we do that through the banners and the proclamations and sponsoring events. And we don't really have that in there, but I think that is part of what we do is we celebrate the diversity that exists here and try to highlight it and kind of bring it to the surface where, for Mexican Independence Day, there's lots of parties going on in town, but nobody knows about them because they're at so-and-so's house or over here or whatever. And so it's like, let's kind of bring that to the forefront a little bit more. And so I think we've done a good job of that. I think our Black History Month presentations especially have really helped highlight that here. I think our Pride event has helped really highlight that for Benton County here. And so I think there's things like that we can do more, that we continue to do. But I think it's a good, important thing of our mission is that we celebrate what's already here, and try to highlight it, bring it to the surface.
Yeah.
So, And maybe we list out through promotion, events, special speakers, whatever. I mean, maybe you list those, maybe you don't, but I think there's a lot of things we do and we can continue to do as part of our mission, just to celebrate the diversity that surrounds us.
Yeah, celebrate may be a good word to add somewhere. Celebrate.
That's great. Thank you.
That's
That will be
positive.
number 7.
Seven's a good lucky number.
It's 7.
It is 7.
I think that-
So I really appreciate the conversation and the work that we've done on this. I appreciate being able to take the time and actually dig into this and have some conversations without having to rush through a billion other things. So the plan for the next meeting
So what?
will be a sort of similar situation. We'll do work. I think the objectives and practice piece will sort of come out as we're talking about next month, like what things do we want to do? Are there specific events we want to focus on next year? There are 2 types of events that if people kind of think over the next month, like what would be very cool for us to do that we haven't done.
Women's history would be good, and I know you didn't, we're
Yeah.
asking, you told us to think, and.
Yeah.
And, May, I don't remember, that would be kind of a fun.
The which
thing.
one?
Polynesian.
Oh, yeah. I heard politician and I'm like, we're not doing that.
Politician.
I was like, a politician was that? What? I don't know about that. Yes, so that would be, yeah, so next meeting, we'll think about next year. We'll talk about maybe how the things that we want to do next year meet those missions and objectives. And, we don't have to like fully sketch out the entire year, but have an idea of what we want to do so that maybe we can get some partners on doing some of that. And I have some thoughts percolating in my head after all of our conversations here, so I'm grateful for all y'all doing this. Yeah.
Do you see the objectives in practice becoming, like, coming out of that and being more of the work plan, like gutting that? And
I don't necessarily think gutting it, because I like the vague framework of it, but I think that using that as sort of a like outline for that work plan, like
I see.
in this objectives and practice, we say that we want to identify systematic barriers, like maybe we're like, okay, well, next year we could look at XYZ thing, or like, so we're kind of like, if we're ever stumped and we're like, man, what are we going to work on in the next few months? Like, we can use this as sort of like, well, we've stated that these are the things that we want to work on. So like, let's pick a letter and brainstorm.
And
Something.
the calendar is a great tool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Calendars, amazing.
So,
I would like to reach out to the library again. I talked to them about Hispanic Heritage Month. They said they would have books they could put up a display, but we needed to contact them. And I missed 2 meetings, but we didn't. And so I think in the future, if we could even give them a picture
Yeah.
of our banner and say, here's what the city's celebrating, could you put some books
That's
up,
a
they've got
great
a
idea.
display? It would be not a lot of work for us,
Yeah.
but the communication with them about what we're doing
Yeah.
would be good.
Yeah, it's an easy tie-in, and it's something that they would probably be happy to do.
And there's a lot of people that go to the library.
Oh, yeah.
Have been impressed.
I go to the
Alright.
library.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you for coming, Jenna. Thank you for being wonderful. And we'll see y'all in October.
Fantastic.
Yeah.